So I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about ChatGPT recently, right? And this is not just a problem in terms of a long-term competitive, serious threat for Google search that they haven't seen in the past. There's something much deeper here that you got to understand, okay? Google's Bard AI could cost 10x as much as traditional keyword search, okay? Essentially, if you were to do an AI search versus doing a Google search, it is going to cost Google a fortune. And the other component of this is, how does Google fit into their ads into an AI search, right? That's not a very good experience if you're doing it that way. And so this is why Google called in Sergey Brin, Larry Page, the founders of Google, because this is such a significant threat on two different fronts. One is potentially taking market share away. The other is how much more this could cost Google's business model, which significantly could disrupt, obviously, their net income for this company, okay, and their earnings per share, which obviously affects the stock in a meaningful way. This goes a little bit deeper here. And if you want to pause the video, you can check this out here, okay? More cost for Google AI. And this shows you the percentage of Google queries if it was handled by generative AI, right? And what the cost with that would be if, for every word, essentially, the AI program kind of gives to you out there. And if you spend significant amounts of time with this AI, the more it's going to cost that particular company, whether it's an OpenAI, the ChatGPT, right, or whether it's Google itself, right? And so this is significant, and it looks like Microsoft is making a lot of moves here with OpenAI, and they are basically seeing it as they can take market share from Google in this situation, and obviously it would cause a lot of damage to Google. So this is a significant threat to Google search that we haven't seen, guys. We haven't seen a significant threat to Google search in the last 20 plus years. Like, as soon as Google got ahead in kind of the early 2000s, right? Like, we haven't seen any significant threat. Other companies try to compete, do this, do that, but it was like Google already had won at that point in time. But I can tell you, this is so disruptive. And that's why Wall Street's starting to price this into the stock, because they're realizing, oh my gosh, it's a market share battle, plus it could weaken their business. And there's almost no scenario where this is going to help Google. Almost no scenario over the long term here, okay? And if you're thinking this is going to hit Google's numbers in the short term, like over the next year, not really. It's really about, what about 3 years out, 5 years out, 7 years out, which is where I'm looking for a stock. And I'm like, there's no scenario where this is going to help Google. There's only scenarios where this is going to hurt them in market share or just adding costs to their business model that they previously didn't have. And so this is significant, man. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge.